Hello everyone, welcome back to day 3 with training with Tango. I forgot my tripod today, so I will try and record from the best angle that I can. So today we will be working on taking his halter on and off multiple times. I was able to go out into the paddock and grab him. It did take a couple of minutes, but I was able to snap the lead rope onto his halter and then bring him out that way. So that was the first time that I've been able to do that. So that's definitely a big change, a big difference from the first day that we started when I couldn't even get near him. So as you can see, I'm in the corner of the stall right now where the door is, and he just walked up to me. Sugarfoot is yelling. So once again, I'm just going to grab his bucket out in the paddock. I was giving him treats by hand, but I don't want to do that. I just wanted to try and lure him towards me so I can grab him. So since we're in the stall, first I need to grab my clicker. Should be in here, or at least one of them. Yep, I have one of my clickers with me today. I kind of forgot everything at home, so working with what I have. So right now I'm just going to put his lead down. We'll get to that part eventually, probably in the next video, once, or at least when I can take his halter off and on multiple times. So once again, starting the clicker training, and I'm going to click and give him a treat into the bucket. Just so this reminds him that every time there's a click, there will be a treat waiting for him. Or at least when he hears the sound of the treat being thrown into the bucket, the treat will be there after the click has happened. So I'm just going to walk up to the side. Yesterday off camera, I spent a little bit of time coming up to him from both sides, just petting him. And as you can see, I just walked up and he was standing there. And of course he's eating the treat right now, but as we've seen in the other past videos, he would move away. So they're going to click as he stood there patiently. So he's definitely had changes with him. So I'm going to walk up to his other side here. Just going to start petting him. So these are very big differences from what we've seen in the past 2 other days of working with him. And reward him. I'm going to come back onto his left side once he picks his head up. He flinched there, so I'm going to rub him. Actually, I'm going to take my clicker away from that side. So he did just move away just a second ago, but I'm not too worried. He is still learning. So I have my hand over on top of his neck, and right now he has his halter on. I left it on him yesterday when I turned him out. So I'm going to, there's a horse next to us, so I'm going to take the halter off right now, and I'm going to slide it over his neck. I'm not going to take it completely off. I want him to know that it's off, but I still have control of him. So I'm just going to pull his neck and head towards me to let him know that he can't run off onto the other side. This is something that we're going to start working with. So he is staying. He might get scared of my clicker as I have to move down off of my arm. So I'm just going to pull his head towards me so he knows that to keep it towards me so he doesn't run the opposite way and drag me behind. So I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to take his halter off of around his neck, and I'm going to reward him for that. If I can get it down, there we go. So if I'm late with the clicker and giving him a treat, that still symbolizes that when the click happens, he did something good and there will be a reward following that click. Normally you would reward them as right after the click, but I am having a little bit of trouble breaking these treats. But I'm not too worried about giving him a treat right away. So he now has his halter off. Just gonna rub him. And I want to start working around with my hand being more close to his head, as every time that I'm gonna demonstrate, if I put my hand near his face, he keeps flinching. Of course, if we did that 2 days ago in our first session, he would book it the other way. So I'm just gonna rub the side of his cheek. I have my hand on his neck and going down past his pole and onto his cheek, and right there I'm gonna reward as he let me touch him there. And so I want to start with working on both sides of his body, as horses have two sides of their brain, their left and the right. Each side is controlled differently, and so if he reacts differently on one side, he might react a lot differently on the other. As on the other side, he's a lot calmer, which is on his left side, and if I move over to his right, which I am now, as you can see, he's moving away. So this is the side that we have to work more on, because he's not used to me being on this side more. So I'm going to reward him. I was able to come up with him. I'm going to walk back up to his right side and just pet him. As you can see, he is moving away, so this is the side that we have to work most on for today, as he's not used to me being on this side. And this is mostly for horses. Their right side will be their weakest side, because we always lead on the left. Alright. As you can see, is moving away from me. Come here. We're already learning to wave. I'm going to walk back up. He is still very shy on this side. He does love scratches, though. That is one thing that I figured out the other day off camera, is he loves scratches. And so very slowly off camera, I've been learning more of his personality. In the bucket. In the bucket. There you go. I've been learning more of his personality. He's a very sweet horse when you're slow with him for right now. But once I take him past other horses, you can definitely tell that he is more not aggressive, but he acts like a stallion. And so we had our vet out yesterday to do vaccines and Coggins on our other two, on Sugarfoot and Parker, and so we decided that, well, I decided to get him gelded a lot sooner than I wanted to. So he's going to be gelded in 2 weeks, which would be on November 9th. So I will have a video on that, which I'm very excited about. I did miss Sugarfoot's gelding or castration when I was younger, because I was too busy talking to the people that were there, and so I'm very excited. It's not normally that I get to be around stallions, especially mini stallions, so this is a big thing that I get to do. So at least working with him, I am learning myself with the different trainings that I could do, or the different methods that I can work with him. Now, with him being unhandled, untrained, it's a big step for me with the training that I have used in the past, and so this takes me all the way back to step 1, as for when I started training Sugarfoot for therapy. I had already had him for many, many years, and we just started from the basics, with Lana Greavy's basic, advanced, what is it called? I'm sorry if I'm forgetting. It's part of her foundational series. She has multiple groundwork series. But the first thing that I started with Sugarfoot a couple years ago, when I first found Lana's methods, was the stopping and leading. And so I'm hoping that when Tango gets more confident, as you can see, I just walked back onto this side. He did flinch quite a bit. So I'm just going to rub him all over. Just get him used to me being back on this side. He's also probably looking for treats, too. But I'm hoping once Tango gets more confident with me being around him, handling him more in the stall, he will start to come closer and be more next to me as we're walking. When I brought him into the barn today, he was still behind me. He didn't really want to be next to me. And so with the stopping and leading exercise, it's going to bring him closer to me. And I'll be demonstrating it with Sugarfoot too, because it's a very good exercise that every horse should know, and it's better for show horses, like show minis and stuff, so that, or any show horse I should say, that do halter, so that they're next to you at all times and they move with your body. Yeah. So I'm going to move back over to his left side now. As you can see, it's more calmer when I'm on his left side than his right. I'm definitely going to be spending more time on his right off camera and just getting him still used to me as we're still new working together. I'm just going to move back over to the right one more time. He is looking for treats right now. He keeps sniffing my pockets. So that's a behavior that I don't want him to do, and once I get the halter on him and we start with the leading exercises, that will hopefully, or will fix his problem of that, because I don't want him to bite me, and when I start training him for therapy, I don't need him to bite anyone else, and I don't need any lawsuits on me. So I will mention also that the very first day that I worked with him, which was our first video on the channel, off camera I did join up with him, and it took him a while to turn into me, but he did eventually do that. So we have a part of join up together now, which I think is why we're progressing quite well. And so join up will be a video that we do get to in the future, or at least when I have my tripod with me. And so it's a really neat thing where the horse makes you become their leader and that they follow you. Which for some people, you might be familiar with the show Heartland. It's a really great horse series. They film in Canada. That is actually where I got Sugarfoot's name. They had a mini on the show in the first couple of seasons named Sugarfoot. He was also a driving horse. And so my sister, well, one of my sisters, decided to choose that name, and so it stuck with him. I never got to name Sugarfoot myself, but I thought it was a great name. But in the show, they also use join up to help damaged horses that don't have trust in humans, and it's a really great thing to see on the show, and then seeing it in person where it's a method that actually works. That's where I've done it with a couple of horses, and I thought it was really, and I've tried it with Sugarfoot. Sugarfoot really just wants to eat grass most of the time, but when I did it with Tango, off camera on our first session together, it was amazing that for the first for the many times that he went around the arena, or not the arena, the round pen, he kept stopping to eat grass, and just like Sugarfoot. But when I started running him more and more, I saw that he started slowing down. He started getting closer to me, and so I turned away from him, and from the corner of my eye, he turned towards me, and that was when I knew that that connection was made. And so that's something that is really, really cool to see, especially with one of my own horses. Like Parker, he is my riding horse. We'll be seeing him very soon. I've done it with him many times, but he's already trained to come into the arena or to come into the circle. But he's also a horse that loves the attention. And if you also want to see demonstrations too on YouTube of join up happening, Monty Roberts has many videos of join up that he's done with horses, and it definitely works. It's just something that can take time. It normally doesn't happen on the first session of trying to do join up, but I was very lucky that Tango was able to make that connection and turn towards me without eating grass. And so we're definitely going to work more on that in the future. I know. So I'm just going to put my clicker away right now. I'm going to start working around his face. I'm going to move back over onto his left side. And look at that, he just stepped in towards me, which is amazing. I'm hoping that my camera is at a good angle right now. It's a bit dark in the stall. He did just hit my treat bag, so I'm going to move it to the other side. It's a little bit dark in the stall. I can't turn the light on or it will blow the fuse to this entire side of the barn. So I'm working with what I have, but these are more progression videos of me seeing how Tango does. So right now, I have my hand on the right side of his neck. I'm going to bring the halter down, and I'm going to just go for putting it on. Look at that. I'm just going to adjust it a little. He didn't want me doing this past couple of sessions. And I'm just going to tie it. And we will get to how to tie a rope halter correctly. There's different ways that people use it. I used to do the wrong way, and that could actually cost the horse their life because it locks. It doesn't pull. So if I pull this hard enough, it will loosen. But the other way, excuse me, let me just click him. like I was saying, if you tie a rope halter the wrong way, basically, the horse can get it caught if they're out in the paddock or even in the stall. If they get the halter caught, one knot will prevent it from loosening and the other will loosen it. And so we'll eventually get to how to tie the rope halter on correctly once. So to me, what he just did with the pawing is impatience, Sugarfoot. To them, or to him, that is a wave. Sugarfoot is trained to do that, but only on cue. Most of the time, Sugars does do it to get treats, because he's not picky whatsoever. He just wants all the food in the world. Reach back over, he did not like that. He did just bite my arm there, so. He did nip me there, but I'll be fine. He is just showing that he is impatient, which will be something that we will be working on once he becomes more comfortable. And as you can see, he keeps moving in towards me, which is a good sign, but it also means that he wants to be in my space. And so when we start working with the leading exercises, that will be something that I'll be teaching him, to stay out of my space when I need him to. And so because I discouraged him there when he didn't bite my arm, I'm going to try and go to the side of him again. Now he is a stallion. I'm expecting him to act a little bit more aggressive than a gelding would, just because he's a stallion. He's still a baby. The horse next to us in the stall is also a 3-year-old, and so both of them are very mouthy. That's the word. He's mouthy, and so when he gets impatient, that's what will happen. And so I'm just going to walk back over, change my clicker to my other hand, and I'm just going to rub his neck, and I'm going to take his halter off once again, and then we're going to take a couple of minutes for a break to let him think over what he's done. So overall, I was able to take his off, or we came in, he had his halter on, I took it off, I put it back on again, and then I just took it off a second time, and as you can see, he's actually standing right next to me, and he didn't try and leave the little area that we're in. So I'm going to reward him. I know he just took a step back, but he did stand there for quite a while. So I'm going to rub him. I'm going to go and grab Sugarfoot now. He's going to be getting shaved once our training session is over. So might be a video on that. I'm not too sure. It just depends on how much footage I can get with this. So yeah, we're going to take a break now. I'm going to go and grab Sugars, and yeah, we will be back. Alright, so much later in the evening now. It's about 5 o'clock. I took a lot longer with shaving Sugarfoot, and so besides that, I'm not gonna continue with Tango just for tonight, just because he's been in the stall. We did have to transfer stalls because my horse had to come in and eat, and we were in his stall. So I'm gonna go ahead now and grab Tango. As you can see that his halter is back on. I did have to put it back on him. Just kind of come over. I don't have my treat bag on me, so can't do much with that. As you could just see that he did try and back away when I grabbed the bottom of his halter. That's okay for right now. I'm hoping that that will progress more and more with him not moving away over the next few days, so everything will become a lot easier for us. I'm gonna go turn him back out and call it a night. I'm tired and covered with white fur. So
I was gonna stop the video here, but I do have extra footage of turning him out. So I'm bringing Tango out now. This is my horse Parker. Tango's right here. As you can see, let me see if I can. So Tango definitely acts like a stud. I'm gonna make sure he doesn't pull me away, or if Parker doesn't bite him. But yes, this is my horse Parker. He is my Western horse. Well, Western trail, sort of. Doesn't really have a discipline. So I'm gonna go walk Tango back to his paddock. Might be blurry. It is evening. It is getting dark. So right here is the arena. It's, I believe, a 50-foot arena. It's a very good size. I wish it was smaller for the minis, but it's good enough for horses. Well, it's amazing for horses. It's okay for minis. So I just have Tango following right behind me. It's my cute little man. And I already turned Sugarfoot out, so he's already right there. So I'll see if I can get a decent video if it's not too blurry or too dark out already. See if we can see how well he's shaved. I still have to go clean up all of his fluff from the wash rack. I'm just gonna go ahead and open the gate here. Oh, Tango just pulled back on me. So he's walking back right now. I'm gonna walk back towards him. I'm gonna make him turn. Come on. I'm gonna make him turn around all the way, and then we're gonna walk back towards the gate. I'm going to try and set you guys down. If I can't, sorry. If not, I'll just cut to the next clip when I have him in. Alright, so this footage is probably going to be dark, but Tango's right in front of me. I just let him out. It was a struggle. And so, he still has his halter on, so we'll work on catching him more tomorrow. And Sugarfoot over at his hay net. So, I'm going to be calling it a night. I will see you guys tomorrow.